I think I'm a lone wolf. I must be. I've been doing a bit of thinking recently about the whole biking thing and my channel and all that, and I come to the conclusion I'm a walking oxymoron, or just a moron, if you want to call it. I think I'm a lone wolf biker. I even looked up the term, the meaning, the dictionary meaning, and it's somebody who wants to be independent and, you know, being alone and that kind of thing, you know, sort of thrives in it, who likes that kind of thing. I'm not sure if I thrive in it, but I don't mind it, if you know what I mean. I've noticed over quite a few years now that working on the YouTube channel and doing stuff, you know, with bike content, you tend to do it by yourself a lot more. I tend to do it by myself a lot more. So over the years, I've kind of got more and more of a lone worker, and, you know, by extension, more of a lone biker. And it just makes it more efficient a lot of the time. Not necessarily that I prefer it, it just works out better. I've just been riding around this business estate, and every now and again I come around here. It's a nice little ride round, but I've noticed all the car parks are virtually empty on these big buildings. Hardly anybody's working in these things anymore, or if they're just working from home. You know, a lot of people are still working from home now. So I suppose, you know, for many of us, our working lives have changed. Some haven't. I mean, my main job, that hasn't changed. I still go in and there's loads of people there. But for many people, it has changed. So yeah, I suppose I am a lone wolf. So I looked up the definition for a lone wolf again, not the human kind, the actual wolf kind. And there's no such thing as a lone wolf, apparently. Well, there kind of is. You've got a wolf pack, because they're very social animals. Then the only time a wolf becomes lone is when they leave the pack to go and start off their own pack, or they go and join another pack. But for the most part, the wolves are always social, or they're on their way to becoming social and becoming part of a group, becoming part of a pack. So being this lone wolf biker, it's a real oxymoron. The two words don't fit. But there you go. I think I might have just proven myself wrong then. Maybe I am a lone wolf biker. I don't even know what it means, to be honest with you. You know, I think lots of people love to put labels on things, don't they? But there we go. People love to act the part, play the part when it comes to bikes, don't they? There's loads of nonsense on the old internet as well, YouTube channels as well. There's loads of that sort of stuff. You know, and people kind of want to put labels on themselves and put patches on the back and all that kind of stuff. Hey, each to his own, do whatever you want. And I get it, you want to be kind of label yourself as somebody who is of a certain type of biker, as it were, but also you're kind of not associated with anybody. You're saying, I'm, you know, loud and proud, I'm a standalone biker, I'm a lone wolf. And I get it. It just doesn't seem, it seems a bit odd, really, to me. I don't know. You're either in the group or you're not. You're either part of a group or you're not. So if you're not part of a group, then you're just alone. Then if you're just alone, you're just alone. Do you know what I mean? But being alone, a lone wolf, a lone biker, doesn't mean you're lonely. Well, it's an interesting way of describing it. Loneliness. Being alone, not part of a group, not part of the scene, not part of the group dynamics, as it were. I went to a rally last weekend and I caught up with a few friends I hadn't seen in a long time, and that was great. But one of the things that I always had to kind of repeat myself over and over again is I keep on missing all the biking events, rallies, get-togethers, because I'm always working in my day job. So part of the problem for me has always been my working routine. not only when I do YouTube content or website content that I prefer to do it alone, it's more efficient, but my day job kind of means that most of the time I'm alone when I'm riding my bike, because everybody else is working when I'm off, you see, so that kind of makes me alone. I have been described in the past as a bit of a loner, that, you know, I don't mind my own company. I prefer the company of others, but I don't mind my own company. But maybe it's just getting older as well. You kind of think, well, you know, sometimes there's a lot of hassles, you know what I mean? But maybe it's just, I don't know. But anyway, so I've been riding around here. I thought, it's all very lonely here, and the old cog started turning. I thought, well, I spend most of my time on my own, especially doing this stuff, and I can't get to biking events for the most part because I'm always working, or just coincidentally working. So I suppose I'm a lone wolf biker, or a lone biker, I suppose. I don't know, let us know your thoughts. But it is definitely odd how people's lives have changed over the last few years, and how we are kind of distancing ourselves in certain respects, isolating ourselves, either by forced isolation, but, you know, because of COVID and all that, or because of just choice out of necessity. It's odd how we've kind of changed, and it's become part of the norm in many ways, but in other ways it isn't, if you know what I mean. I've been speaking to quite a few people recently who do work from home since COVID, and they do it out of choice, but also they do it because their businesses, their offices have closed down, so they're all working remotely. And one of the things that they say on a repeated basis, it's not the work, because you'll get tech companies trying to sell software, trying to promote working remotely, and say, oh look, we're all wearing headsets on, we're all talking to each other, it's great. But it's not the working together that's the issue. It's those little bits in between, when you're not working with each other but you're still having a little chinwag with each other, or you're, you know, stood around the coffee machine and, you know, just exchanging pleasantries, or shouting across the room to say, what are you up to tonight, you know, that kind of thing. That's what a lot of people, certainly from the corporate world, the office world, they're probably missing, really. And for me, for making motorcycle content and trying to always come up with different ideas, I've definitely noticed much more of a swing towards where I go riding, the kinds of things that I do, and how I make YouTube videos, or even if I go out on the bike anymore and I just tend to do stuff from home. That was very much a kind of focused attention, or intentional on my part, to do a lot more videos from home, because again, it's about efficiency and putting out ideas and making commentary on things that I thought might be relevant as well. So yeah, it's kind of, I've made a rod for my own back in many ways. I've kind of become a lone biker, a lone wolf biker, a lone worker, a bit by choice, a bit by necessity, and a bit, well, because it's just more efficient. But I'm not sure it's that enjoyable anymore, if you know what I mean. I mean, I'd much rather just be out and about and, you know, meeting people and, you know, that kind of thing, and or just going to events. But here's the other thing. There's a big thing which I thought about a long time ago, and I think I've mentioned it on previous videos, is that sometimes you can get into this habit of always having the camera on and just being in the moment of trying to capture the scene, or trying to capture the moment. But in so doing, you kind of miss the moment, you miss what's going on. So a lot of the time what I did, I just didn't take the camera out with me, or just never turned it on. I just walk around and just experience it for what I wanted. And at certain times I would just put the camera on me and walk around and capture whatever I was capturing, or when I'm riding around I just capture footage of riding, but without any purpose as well. So the social aspect of biking, let's say for example I went to a rally last weekend. I had my camera with me, because I'll always have a camera with me, but I didn't turn it on. I didn't want to make videos. I was at a show earlier on the year, and, you know, people say, oh, you haven't got your camera on now. I said, no, you know, I'm not filming, you know, now. I've got my camera with me, but I'm not filming. Because you've got to appreciate, a lot of people don't want to appear on camera as well. So I've I've definitely changed the way I would use cameras over the last few years as well. You know, I'm not about capturing the moment or capturing it. A lot of that I just keep to myself. A lot of that kind of experience of biking, I thought, well, I could share it, but that's for me as well, because I want to be part of that moment. I don't want to just be focused on operating a camera. I want to leave that stuff for, well, just when I'm alone and just trying to talk to the camera, talk to you guys, as opposed to trying to do a bit of everything. Enjoy the moment and trying to show you guys as well. Yeah, so a bit of a different video today, this lone wolf biker thing. You know, I see loads of people walking around, or over the years I have seen loads of people walking around. It kind of became a bit of a thing, a bit of a gimmick, I suppose. And some people interpret these things in a different way, and some people, I suppose, try to be something that many other people think that they shouldn't be. But I've always seen myself as kind of an independent person anyway, and an independent biker, or an independent way of thinking, or whatever. I've never really been part of a group or an association that I thought that's my identity. My identity has always been myself and been my own. The way I think about things, the way I do things has always been a kind of a solitary one. So from that point of view, I suppose I always have been a bit of a loner, and I always have been a bit of a lone biker, lone wolf biker, if you like. But I just see it as being somebody who either works independently, has to work by themselves out of necessity, or it's being forced upon them, or it's just probably just a better way of doing things, a more efficient way of doing things. But it doesn't necessarily mean either that I enjoy it. You know, I enjoy this process. I enjoy making videos, but I much prefer to do it with other people. I much prefer to do it with, you know, other like-minded people. But you know, that in itself is quite difficult as well. You know, especially when you come to making, let's say, YouTube videos. You know, they talk about collaborations and things like that, but over the years, but I found it's actually quite difficult to have a coming together of minds between different YouTubers, because you've got your own way of doing things in your own style. So that doesn't always work either. Sometimes it works, I suppose, sometimes it doesn't. So for me, it's always worked better just doing these things by myself. So I must be a loner. But whilst it works out better, it doesn't necessarily mean it's more enjoyable. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm going to get on the Heroic Hardy. It's going in for its annual test. It's MOT tomorrow, so fingers crossed that'll pass. Having a bit of trouble this year in trying to get the MOT on this bike for some reason. A lot of MOT stations are fully booked, or a couple are closed down, but they're still advertising that they're open. So I've actually got it into the local Harley dealership. Yeah, let's see what's what. But yeah, it's all right. It's still purring like a kitten. I still would like to have some work done to it, you know, if I keep the thing as well. That's still on the cards. I still haven't quite made up my mind, really. Right, catch you on the next one. This lone wolf biker is going to go down the road alone on the road. Catch you again. Bye now.